Peace, family. How y'all doing out there? Hope you're doing well. Today I'm just going to be dropping some game, giving some knowledge. We'll be going over history, etymology, and just giving information that maybe you didn't have at this point. And what we'll be going over is word spells, as I put it. No word is put together for no reason. There's always a reason behind these spells. So today we'll be going over the Anu. The Anu is the original man of the planet, or the original man and woman, excuse me. So in this video, I'm going to give you insight and factual information on who these people are. I'm going to make the word connections, the etymological connections to the Anu that shows their history, that shows their ancient history. So with that being said, hope you got your pen and pad and hit that like. Let's get into it. The Anu. The Anu are small, black, diminutive black people. They are not. The word pygmy is a misnomer. A misnomer is a name that is wrong or not appropriate or proper. The proper term would be Anu, or a diminutive black person or people. Now the Anu is a term used for individual peoples. The term for the collective would be the Ani. Now, the Anu or the Ani are the ancestors of the Twa and all of civilization as known today. Anu is of African stock, small, black, as we can read. The Anu is an honorary title of respect given by the Anu, those who came after the Anu, such as the Twa, the Egyptians. Now, to get more familiar with the Anu, it's important to know that over millions, hence the word millions, and here we have a representation of the Twa, or the diminutive black person people, but over millions of years, millions, key word, millions, the original humans educated and civilized themselves, evolving from Australopithecus robustus to Australopithecus gracile, and then to Homo habilis. Dr. Richard King, a clinical psychiatrist and a melanin specialist, is quoted as saying, "It was from this Anu that the first use of the spoken word, symbolic postures, and music was given." The Anu, approximate 7 million years ago, 7 million years ago, were the first to travel across the earth and the first humans to be conscious or self-aware. Before that, it was more of a primitive brain function, primitive tool function. And we're the originators of stone tools and metal tools and all of that anyway. The Anu, meaning black, are the small people who introduced the Neolithic age to the prehistoric culture of the world. These small diminutive black peoples, known as pygmies or Anu or Ani, their names translates to pillars. They are also natives of Nubia. These small black peoples were known biblically as the Cushite or the Hamite. Anu, when written in its form, is a symbol of 3 pillars. So if you go back to your ancient prehistoric times and you look up such artwork, you will find their names with 3 pillars. These pillars symbolize those who laid the foundation of civilization, the mother and father, the pillars, the Solomon's temples. You see, these later on mythologies or symbologies, like such as Solomon's temple, everything originates from these people, period. Religion, everything, sciences. Matter of fact, they are the scientific and cultural pioneers of the planet. They also founded Egypt's first dynasty. These Anu are the predecessors of the Twa and the predecessors of the Egyptians and most of all civilizations. Okay? So here we're going to look at different representations of the oldest god, named Bes, who is represented at all times small, black, of very ancient origins. Bes was a good deity, was a family-orientated deity. But as you see here, and you will see all throughout history, Bes is always represented in the likeness of the Anu peoples, which only makes sense because the Anu peoples, or the Ani peoples, are the originators of symbology, music, math, sciences in general. These are representations of the Anu peoples. And Bes and the Anu people in general, the Anu people, wherever they went, they were always held in the highest regard as royalty, divine beings. These are the forefathers to all civilization, so of course they would be. Like I said, these are the originators of all sciences, including religion. Biblically, they're known as Cushites. Most people know what Cush is, but don't know where Cush is. You think it's the herbs. I'm talking the land. Biblically, they were known as Cushites or Hamites. And like I said, once again, they are the predecessors of the Twa, and they are predecessors of the Egyptians. Bes, the oldest Egyptian god, is an Anu from the Great Lakes region of Kwai land. Now, Kwai land comprised the countries of Kenya, Uganda, Tanganyika, Rwanda, Congo, and South Africa. The Anu, understand, is Bes, and Bes is in the likeness of the Anu. Now, where can we see Anu? Well, you could find Annie in the Book of Coming Forth by Day, one of the oldest texts known to history, one of the oldest known, such as Asar Ani, Osiris Ani. Why is that? I just explained it. But here you have a representation of Bes, and Bes was the dwarf god, the small diminutive black god with a frightening appearance but a kind nature. Bes was a god of the people, and his popularity never waned. His grotesque features and the magical knife he brandished were meant only to ward off evil and frighten demons away from the families he protected. Families loved Bes and often painted his image in their houses. Like I said, family, the Anu were always, wherever they went, revered as divine beings because history respected its forefathers, acknowledged their forefathers. So we're looking at ancient prehistory, and we're digging into ancient prehistory, etymology. Okay? So Anu are the diminutive black people of the planet, the original man and woman, the pillars of civilization, who inhabited many, 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 many places. The Anu, or the Ani as a collective, are your snakes of St. Patrick's Day. They are the original Irishmen, the original Europeans, the original Americans, everywhere, damn near everywhere. Why is this important? Because we have to understand the science, the advanced science of the ancient world, and how they handled themselves, and how they handled their mothers and fathers, if you will. Here we see that Bes is a dwarf, a diminutive black person, small, African origins, the oldest known deity, or one of the oldest known deities to human history, period. Period. Why is all this important? I can't tell you quite yet. We're coming up upon it though. Stay patient. I hope you're enjoying, and if you are, please do hit that like button. Share this. Not many people know this. Not many that I've seen have brought it to light. We have to make the connections. Understand? We have to understand where these terms come from, where these mythologies and these ideas come from. First, we have to know who are the original people of the planet. It's the black man and black woman of the planet. The original Ani, or Anu. The ancestors of the Twa, the ancestors of all of us. Understand this? So I want to make this connection and hopefully shed the light on how deep these things go. We haven't been misled. We have been not taught properly. So let's look at a depiction of the Anus. Here we have Terra Necher, God, Neger, Negra, Naga, Niga, Neger, Nigger. All means king, all means God. So here we have Terra Necher, the chief of the Anu. The chief of the Anu. And you can find this in Nations Negres et Culture by Cheikh Anta Diop. I recommend Cheikh Anta Diop's work to everybody. Everybody. It is important. As you see in this glyph, top right corner, you see the pillars. Once again, you see the pillars to represent, these are the symbolically representing the pillars of civilization, the Anu or the Ani. And I'm going to continue to repeat these titles so that we can get it established comfortably within our minds. The Anu, the Ani are the original man and woman of the planet, the small people of the planet, the leprechaun of the planet. You understand what I'm saying? So here we're going to look at all the places that they did civilize. These are just some, because if we're going to be technical, we're going to name a lot of different places, smaller places, bigger places. But as it stands, the Anu civilized Europe, the Near East, North Africa, India, China, Indonesia, and as well Africa, obviously, Egypt, Egyptians, and most all civilizations. These Anu or Ani are the predecessors of most all civilizations in the first place. Once again, they founded Egypt's first dynasty. You understand me? 7 million years ago, they were already traveling across the earth. They're already self-aware, self-conscious. They're already into tool making. Once again, these small people introduced the Neolithic age to the prehistoric culture of the world. Look into tool making, metal tools. Look into the Twas, you know? These are just references. Ani is the collective, Anu is the individuals. And very soon here, we're going to see why this is important to history and why this is important to our comprehension of certain myths and deities as well. There's a reason for everything, family. And it's with that, I want to show you this. So here we have a depiction of Ptah. Or excuse me, we have a representation of Bes, who is a son of Ptah. So this Bes, this small diminutive deity, is indeed a son of Ptah, a dwarf. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So is Bes the son of Ptah? Here's Bes, and here's Ptah. You notice something? I do. The origin, the creator, the god, is a dwarf. And it makes sense. The original man of the planet would only make the gods of his culture in the likeness of himself or herself. So if Ptah is a dwarf, it would only make sense that his child would be a dwarf. Now we have to take this in the real, in a realistic sense. You understand what I'm saying? The original man gives birth to original man. Understand? So the dwarfs, or the small people, would create, in essence, their offspring. And their offspring would be a representation and reflection of themselves, right? It would be a dwarf. The oldest deity is a dwarf. The oldest man on the planet, a dwarf. The creator of all throughout ancient prehistory is a dwarf. Anu and Bes. So let's look at the correlation. When you have the Anu and Bes, you have what? Anubis. It is no coincidence that the most ancient god known to history's root is the title given to the original man of the world, the Anubis. Y'all hear it. It's not by accident. It's not me just mumbling up words. This is etymology. This is history. Prehistoric history. This is also genealogy, I believe. The Anu, the original people who created these deities, made them in the likeness of self. Bes means by, B-I-S. Anubis, Anubis means plural, two. By, pillars, two pillars, the pillars. The Anu are the pillars of civilization, and Bes is the pillar god of ancient times. This is where Anubis comes from. This is where Anubis was created by the Ani, the group of hunter-gatherers who also practiced a matriarch. Understand me? So etymology is definitely, indeed, key to understanding the word spells. Here, once again, I put it. Etymology are the roots. The Anu are the roots of civilization, and Bes is the roots, or the root god that came before the other gods, if you will, later on. So here we have Anubis, or Anubis. Ansar Ani, Osiris Ani, the book of coming forth by day. Anu, or Ani, is an honorary title. So they were being honored by that title. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, man. I really do. Hit that like. I'm up out of here.